And welcome back. Our second segment will be featuring none other than
Let him say it. Let him say it.
Arthur Usher. That's my buddy. Arthur Usher is actually the communications and program officer, manager. Actually, it says your manager, officer. They bump you up or leave it.
Well, I guess so. No, you did not Donald Trump. You did demote the
this guy, and of course, Mr. Abel Vargas. Mr. Abel Vargas, who is from Hands in Hand Ministry. Guys, good morning. We know that tomorrow, actually for the entire week, it has been an excellent week for you guys, and we know that tomorrow is going to be a wonderful day for you guys as well, because we've got this big concert coming up, and of course, this is in commemoration with World AIDS Day. Elaborate on that for us, guys.
Well, at the National AIDS Commission, every year for World AIDS Day, we try to do something really big, try to do a big bang kind of thing. Last year we did a symposium with UB. So this year we're collaborating with Hand in Hand Ministries to be very specific in our target population, which is kids with HIV. So Hand in Hand is, I guess, the premier organization in the country that deals with kids with HIV. So we said, well, look, let's try to find a way to support this program. And so we thought of a benefit concert. And with that, we targeted again the main steel pan bands in the country, which are Panarifics, Pandemonium, and Pantemptors.
Nice.
And they decided to support us and perform basically almost free. It's bare minimum, and so they're contributing as well. And the idea is to fundraise for the kids with HIV to find that funding to continue the program.
Okay.
And I'm sure Abel will elaborate about what the program does. So it's tomorrow at the House of Culture from 7 to 12. We'll have bands, we'll have small speeches and talks and videos, and very entertaining. General admissions, if you have VIP admissions, we'll have yourself, John Palacio, as the MC, and Miss Renata Samuels as the MC.
Most of the money gone for the MC.
But you did mention World AIDS Day. When is World AIDS Day?
World AIDS Day is December 1st every year. That's next week's Thursday. Besides this activity that we're having tomorrow, we're also partnering with the Ministry of Health to do some testing on that day. So throughout the country, in your community, there should be testing going on from the Ministry of Health. Okay. And the theme for World AIDS Day this year is Hands Up for HIV Prevention.
Okay.
And we're also doing a small campaign along that lines as well. So you'll be seeing some stuff coming up from us next week.
In the districts, where do you go to get the AIDS for the kids? The testing, the free testing?
The free testing, it will be at the Ministry of Health site. So usually either at the Ministry of Health itself, the hospitals, or they would do outreach in maybe a community area, maybe like a park or so, and they would identify.
But at your program, it's available free for all the children who want to be tested.
No, we don't do testing.
We don't do testing. Test tomorrow?
No, we don't do testing.
Not you, sir, but I mean Ministry of Health will be
available. They do it throughout the year. So if you want, you can just walk in and get your
Any
test.
parent can take the child in to do a test?
Well,
basically?
Yeah, but we don't, it will have to be under parental control, right?
Clearly.
Right, because...
So can I just click before I out of my mind? There are some statistics available for our viewers in relation to kids with HIV?
Yeah, Abel, I think right now we're at
we're about between 112 and 115.
115.
Meaning what?
Kids of children that we know
112
to 120 children that
in the country, I believe, have been tested.
Yes, that we know that have are infected,
roughly
are living with the virus.
Roughly kind of age group we're talking?
We're looking, well, for us children are from infants to 17 years old.
Wow.
But the majority of these children are between the ages of 8 and 16.
Wow.
Transmitted by the mother?
Well, from various ways, different ways. There's different ways that this has been transmitted. As you may know, Hand in Hand Ministries is the only organization in the country for the past 10 years, going on 11 years now, that has specifically focused on the infant and the child. We're the only organization in the country and also in Central America that does this. We're also recognized by the Ministry of Health as the leading organization for the child response. So much so that we're the only organization, non-government, that is on the Belize Health Information System.
Wow.
All right, so we are patched into the national grid because since we are the ones who do most of what the child response is, the Ministry of Health works in partnership with us, and uses our information to feed them the national response.
You know, that's of course very good news to know that Hand in Hand Ministry, the only one taking care of that. I must say kudos as well for you guys to be joining force and taking care of business, especially for tomorrow, and so folks can know. But speaking of that, Hand in Hand Ministry, where can we find? Do we find you guys in every aspect of the country? Because it's important for folks to be to have talks, especially in how you deal with your child, or if you should find out that your child is actually living with HIV.
Yeah, well,
where do we go?
Well, John, I'll tell you the truth. Unfortunately, even though we've made great strides in the past 10, 15 years, stigma and discrimination is still predominant. Therefore, we go out to the child. Hence the reason why it's called the outreach program. Because rather than wait for the child to come to us, we go out to them. Because if we wait for them to come to us because of stigma and discrimination, they won't come. All right, so we have to go out to them. And we go to them in every corner of the country. All right, we do rural, we do villages, and we work with the health system, with the health nurses, the rural nurses, etc., that we go out in the rural parts of the country.
You did mention, Abel, that over the past 10 years, you guys have been doing some great work. Have we seen rise?
Tremendous improvement for us in the child response. So much so that last year, we've seen that the mother-to-child transmission has been tremendously successful. So we are thinking and we are hoping and we are very positive that within the next 5-6 years, we should have no infant with HIV and AIDS. Because today, as I speak to you, there's absolutely no reason for a child to be born with HIV and AIDS, regardless of the mother's status.
Because of what? Because
of the treatment that has been introduced, the third trimester treatment that has been introduced. Therefore, the child will not be born with HIV and AIDS. The only children that have slipped through the cracks, so to speak, are the children that have been born through midwives.
Outside the system.
Right, outside the system. Once the pregnant mother who is infected is within the system, there's absolutely no reason for that child to be born with HIV and AIDS. So
can you say mothers who go to the system, the clinics, the hospitals, private or public, it's a requirement that they be tested to see if they have AIDS?
Well, they can only be tested on consent.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean,
yes, it is, and they're given a counseling by the caregiver or the primary caregiver or the medical officer, and they're given counseling and testing has been done under their consent.
And pregnant mothers are available for that, but then I imagine midwives are also registered, so the system know who are midwives and who are available, so they could probably reach them in due course, no?
Most of them are, some aren't.
All
right, so we wouldn't know. Actually, we've had situations at Hand in Hand last year where children have been brought to us 3-4 years old, and they were born with the virus, but they didn't know because they were born out of the system, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's until the child becomes chronic and terminally ill that
it comes to the fore.
Right.
Okay, that's good news. Yeah.
We know that the National AIDS Commission has been doing great work in trying to advocate and make sure that folks know that, you know what, you need to go in for testing. Have we seen a rise with those with people, Belizeans being contracted with HIV and AIDS, or is there because of the work of the National AIDS Commission, we have seen a fall from that?
I guess it was serious big
right. The numbers are, I know you're trying to get to numbers, but I think I would rather move away from the numbers per se in terms of the education and the information has been very steady, very palatable. I think a lot of people know when we do our research, we do our information gathering, people will tell, yes, I know this, and this is throughout the country. So the education has been there. I think you're asking, does that translate into behavior change?
Yeah.
And that is something that is still a bit difficult to gauge as, yes, we've seen a rise in numbers, people come in and get tested. Whether or not it's the same person, the system will have to tell us.
Okay.
Because some people, they might
more people are getting tested?
Yes. I would say, again, if you use a 10-year span, I would say yes. More people are getting tested. The knowledge has risen, right? So people understand the virus. They understand what they need to do. The services are there. Whether or not they use it, again, it's a personal choice. Some people, what we find is some people might, because of stigma and discrimination, as Abel alluded to, might live in Belize today, but get tested in Orange Walk.
Okay.
Right? And then another day they might go and get tested in Belize City.
They're not stigma and I'm afraid that somebody leak out their name.
Well, confidentiality.
Just to follow on what Arthur is saying, and you're asking critical questions that really only the Ministry of Health should be able to answer.
Yeah,
but what I can tell you from our experience is that we have made great strides in the response. All right, since for the past 10, 15 years, we've made tremendous improvement. There is awareness out there, but you know, something as chronic as HIV and AIDS, you never do enough.
Yes.
You know, and there's always a need for improvement. There's always a need to do more. All right. So even though we've made great strides, we're still seeing that there's a need to stay at it. Right. All right. It's not time to lay down our guards. It's time to keep at it.
Hand in Hand is a regional organization, international.
Actually, our head office is in Louisville, Kentucky, where about 98% of our funding comes from.
Okay.
And we have externally. The first international office was Belize, established in 2002.
Okay.
And then we have an office in Nicaragua that was established in 2004.
Let's get back to tomorrow's activity. Is this the first time you guys have been teaming up with Hands in Hand?
No, Hand in Hand is a partner with National AIDS Commission.
We're a commission,
right? So they're part of us.
From the incision of the National AIDS Commission, we've been part of it.
Again, we try targeting. It's about targeting right now and really getting to the issues. And I think that this activity will meet some need. Again, Hand in Hand is also trying to, I guess, establish their own building, their own site. So these things are so they can provide better services for the kids. So all of these proceeds will go towards strengthening that program. So again, appealing to the public, but at the same time, knowing that the issue is so real, we have to make an effort to support. And it's not just for this one activity. You can support throughout the year. You know, so it's not just, we're asking for money for this one concert.
I see you brought along some colorful.
Yeah, well, I think
complimentary tickets for.
Where will the concert be held, and what's the contribution? How much do we? How much to enter?
The concert is at the House of Culture tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. We have tickets for general admissions as well as VIP. The tickets are $30 for general admissions single, $50 for general admissions couple, $60 for VIP admissions single, and $100 for VIP admissions couple.
What the VIP?
The VIP, you get specific servicing throughout the night. You have your own waiters.
Specific servicing,
right? you get. I'll watch your legal words, right?
Right.
You get your food, you get a free drink, and you have your service throughout the night. You have your own bar, so you're very comfortable. You have your own space, and again, it's a vantage point in terms of the show. And if you want, you can get up and mingle and dance and whatever else to the music, because it's steel pan. And,
all right. And who are some of the speakers that will be there?
We will have the First Lady, Miss Kim Simplis Barrow, doing opening address. We'll have Miss Laura Longsworth, who is the chairperson of the National AIDS Commission, and Mr. Abel Vargas from Hand in Hand Ministries. And these are small...
No raffle, no prizes to encourage the ticket holders.
Well, no, not as yet, but that could be something that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Right.
When you buy a ticket, you want to buy and get one, you blend up for the Christmas to the pastor. It's salty.
You will like, blend up with you.
You know, I'm sure because there's an ad out. I'm sure folks will be looking forward to tomorrow night's activity. Where can they get tickets?
You can buy the tickets at the House of Culture, Hand in Hand Ministries, the NAC Secretariat's office, or any of our partners, BFLA, the Department of Youth in these areas. And if you guys, you can call or whatever, check the website, you can get our numbers, you can call us and we can have tickets.
Because a lot of folks, especially that we're heading into the Christmas season,
right?
Folks will be probably coming from the districts trying to get to Belize City to do a shopping or two. And they would, one of the things that is most attractive about this country is, especially when it comes to our steel band, these bands, they know how to play Fan La Cucaracha, and they'll be playing that for you. So it's very attractive and it's very good music. And people could actually dance to this type of music. Do we find tickets in the districts?
Yes, we do have partners in the districts. Belmopan specifically, we have Go Belize and a couple of our other partners do have tickets. It's mostly Belize centered, Belize City centered, just because we have the most of the population. But if those who are in the districts want, they can always call the office. We have our district committees that we can send the tickets to them.
And you can come to the event. We will have tickets at
Just
the
come and get a
Just come and get a ticket, right?
It's a house of culture. I mean, we have space.
Right.
All right. We have space.
Come get your ticket, win a blender so you can bring up all the
Correct,
friends.
correct.
This man is serious about
Don't commit to already, right?
Is there any additional information you guys would like to share with us before we conclude?
There will be general thank yous, but just bringing up all the sponsors. I think that they have done an excellent job in supporting us, and we'll make full mention all the sponsors tomorrow, and all the partners that have also given of their time and all their energies. So just please come out, enjoy the night. It's for a worthy cause. It will be dynamic. It will be fun, and we appreciate all your support. And
once again, well, yesterday I was heading out to Belmopan, and a colleague of mine made mention that, you know what, it sets your mind at peace actually, following your testing, to know that, you know what, that's one of the tests I feel I passed with a negative. You know, so where do people go once again? Because this is actually very important. It's important to your household, your lifestyle. Where do we go to do testing across the country?
The Ministry of Health, all the VCTs, all the hospitals. You have BFLA. And you have your private clinics and your private places that you can get tested. But the free test, and again, it's basically 5 to 10 minutes. It's one prick on the finger, and you drop the blood, and they can tell you within 3 minutes.
Every medical institution offers testing.
Okay.
All right. Every medical service institution in the country offers testing. Free testing is done through the government. All the government institutions, the 4 VCTs in the country, and also the rural nurses. For hand-in-hand ministries, what we do, we go out to the children. All right, so we have children who come in, like Tuesday morning is testing day for us because that's lab day. And we have some children who come to the center, and we have most of them who we go out to. So we go out to the children, we collect the blood, we process the blood, we go to the central medical lab, make sure the blood is tested, we get the results and come back to the family, and we talk to the guardian as to the progress of the child. If we see that the CD4 count is going down and the viral load is going up, then we know that the child is not adhering or is not getting nutritional support.
Okay.
Then we go to the child, we take all the vitals of the child, we do a progress reporting of the child, and so we know if the child is improving or not and what needs to be done. Actually, even at the central hospital, KHMH, whenever a child shows up there with HIV and AIDS, they call us.
Excellent.
And our nurses go in with their calculator and everything, and they do dosing. They work with the main doctor there that is the HIV doctor, so to speak, even though all should be. And then we have also a pediatric doctor who is specifically assigned to the infected child. We work with those doctors, and we monitor the child, we dose the child, we treat the child, and the child bounces back. Miraculously, and I'll say, you know, it's a God thing, the child is one of the most resilient beings in humanity. A child could be devastatedly looking like they're going to die any minute, and you start treating this child, and within a couple of days, this child is up and around bouncing, walking around. So a child is very resilient, and we've had many cases that have come to us where the child has been written off, left to die. And we get the child, and the child bounced back. We had a situation recently where a child was seen in a school, and the person who saw the child was like, "Is this the brother?" "No, it's the same child." Because they thought, and this is a medical person, they thought the child would have already been dead. All right, so we have very many cases like that where children have come to us written off from the system, so to speak, because the system cannot do any more. But because we have specific services, we are able to help the child.
Excellent. Abel Vargas, Hands in Hand Ministries, and mi amigo to Usher from the National AIDS Commission. Guys, we want to thank you so very much. Once again, Belize, we want to encourage you to attend tomorrow's concert. It's going to be at the House of Culture, and there are various prices for tickets. We want for you to be a part of it. Remember, the funds raised, of course, will be to eventually make sure that we're well taken care of in terms of those who are living with HIV and AIDS. It's not the end of life. It's actually, I would want to say,
new beginning.
A new beginning, of course. So let's try to help those who are trying to help us as well. Guys, once again, thank you so very much. Coming up in the third segment, though, we've got the Belize Primary School History and Social Studies competition. Mr. Avila is going to be right here with myself, along with Mr. Bradley. Stay with us. We'll be right back.